the undisputed greatest sprinter of all time. Many would argue he's the greatest athlete we've ever seen. He defied the laws of biology and human logic, producing jaw-dropping performances on the track, with hundreds of millions of people watching on in utter disbelief. His fame is unquantifiable, with adoring fans sprawled across the length of the globe. He regularly appears on talk shows, in advertising campaigns, and even features in sports outside of sprinting. He truly has the world at his feet, and a life that many are jealous of. But ominous rumblings have begun to be unearthed, spawning ambiguous tweets that are clearly targeted, but to who it isn't entirely clear. Regardless of someone's fame, athletic ability or charisma, no one is untouchable, and Usain Bolt has been stung by a corruption operation that uncovers intrinsic failures from government level all the way down to a sole individual with malicious intent. This is an account of how the world's greatest sprinter was deprived of much of his hard-fought earnings in the blink of an eye. Usain Bolt was born on the 21st of August 1986 in Jamaica's rural northwest in a small village known as Sherwood Content. In his early years, he found his first passion to be cricket, with him excelling as a fast bowler. However, his parents felt that he would be better suited as a track sprinter, and Bolt was eventually convinced. At the 2001 World Youth Championships in Hungary, he competed at his first international sprinting competition at only 14 years old. Despite being eliminated in the semi-final, it was abundantly clear that the Jamaican youngster had a unique gift. At the 2002 World Junior Championships in Kingston, Jamaica, a 15-year-old Bolt took first place, recording just 20.61 seconds in the 200 metres, becoming the youngest ever male World Junior Champion in any event. At 19, he ran the 200 metres in 19.93 seconds, becoming the first teenager to break 20 seconds. His coach began to let Usain try the 100 metres, and on May 3, 2008, he lowered his best ever time to just 9.67 seconds, the second fastest time ever recorded. At the 2008 Olympic Games, Bolt won the gold medal in the 100 and 200 metre races, as well as the 4x100 metre relay, although this was later stripped due to one of his teammates failing a drug test. At the World Championships in Berlin in 2009, Bolt shattered his previous 100 metre record, winning the event final in 9.58 seconds. He also set a world record in the 200 metres at 19.19 seconds. At the 2012 London Olympics, Bolt defended his titles in both the 100 and 200 metres, becoming the first person to ever do this. He then would cement his role as the best sprinter in history at the Rio Olympics, capturing golds in the 100 and 200 metre races along with the 4x100 relay. He retired in 2017.
My legs are hurting, so it's time to go.
According to Forbes magazine, in 2018 Usain Bolt was ranked 45th in the 100 richest athletes in the world. The Olympian had received endorsements of over $30 million from brands ranging from Puma to Hublot, making him comfortably the highest paid track athlete on the planet. He has consistently featured in TV advertising campaigns, such as Virgin Media's switch to Superdrive in mid-2018. He has more recently featured as the poster boy of the Olympics' Stronger Together initiative. In spite of his retirement from sprinting in 2017, he is still very much viewed as a useful marketing tool to promote products, campaigns and brands. This fact has been a fundamental reason behind Bolt accruing a net worth estimated to be between $31 and $90 million. Like many rich individuals, Bolt sought to invest a portion of his money in order to grow his wealth and take advantage of the world's economic activity. As of the 31st of October 2022, Bolt had a total of around $12.7 million in an account with the Jamaican-based investment firm Stocks and Securities Limited, known as SSL. He had been doing business with the company for approximately 10 years. However, on January the 11th, 2023, Bolt was alerted by the company that only $12,000 of the original sum was left in his account. He had lost nearly $12.7 million in less than 2.5 months. So what is the history and background behind SSL, and why have rich Jamaicans trusted this establishment? Through a quick Google search, you find that SSL doesn't exactly have a clean slate. The Jamaican Financial Services Commission actually temporarily took control of the institution in late 2016, in line with the Jamaican government's National Risk Assessment. Its findings were published in a report from February 2017, which indicated that there was an auditor's opinion pointing to a capital deficiency and doubt that the business could be regarded as a going concern. Furthermore, the report flagged SSL as a problem institution that had a culture of non-compliance and mismanagement of client funds. It had failed to file audited accounts within 90 days of the close of a financial year, which contravenes Jamaica's finance laws. Despite this, it was judged that any suspension of SSL's dealer license, even for a day, would inevitably lead to a total destruction of the company and destabilisation of the financial sector, ultimately making the company's closure unfeasible at that particular time. The FSC instead provided SSL with 7 conditions to be satisfied to avoid a suspension, one of which required SSL to give evidence that it rectified a shortfall between assets not accounted for on their balance sheet and its liabilities. So the question is, did SSL actually carry out the agreed corrective actions and comply with the FSC's imposed terms? Well, this is where we get into murky waters. What happened next is not clear, as the FSC typically does not publish its directions issued to companies. But in a press conference on the 18th of January 2023, the Executive Director of the FSC, Everton McFarlane, gave an unclear and ambiguous statement.
If there was a condition required for them to satisfy certain obligations, or we would take steps to suspend the license was not suspended.
His answer doesn't directly address whether the steps were satisfied. Secondly, why were people like Usain Bolt not informed about it being a problem institution earlier? Well, Everton's acting general counsel, Donya Fuller Barrett, had this to say.
But if we, for example, come to the public with every single thing that we have identified as an issue, we may unwittingly create a situation of panic.
Unfortunately, the culture of mismanagement at SSL has been on full display. After Bolt's attention was drawn to the lost money, the company said in a statement on January the 12th that it had become aware of recent fraudulent activity committed by a former employee and that it was now taking steps to secure its customers' assets. But this wasn't simply a small-scale operation. As news outlets report, SSL has lost $1.2 billion belonging to 30 clients from this employee fraud scam. One of the case's investigators has revealed the complexity of the scheme, including bypassing of controls through forgery, manipulation of IT systems and email addresses, along with the interception of disbursements for accounts in commercial banks. This pre-planned embezzlement is likely not to have involved a singular individual, instead being carefully cultivated by an organised group. Usain Bolt has threatened the company with legal action if the money is not returned within 10 days. Meanwhile, Jamaican authorities have requested help from the FBI and other unidentified international experts. Due to the complexity of the scam, it appears unlikely that Bolt will see the money returned into his account. If the money has been transferred offshore, then tracing it will be a near impossible task. The whole ordeal reflects incredibly badly on Jamaica's financial overseers, especially considering their lack of transparency, which has ultimately led to Jamaica's biggest legend and most notable figure being stripped of his retirement fund. Well, what do you guys think? Is this a tragic example of why investments need to be diversified to avoid crushing losses? Or is it simply a one-off cheap shot in which an opportunist utilised corruption to their advantage? Please drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.